Good morning. Mark, I owe you a big thank you for joining me this morning because I know you're an incredibly busy chap. But I'm grateful to you. We've got the opportunity to have a bit of a chat about your career, and you can pass on some of your thoughts and comments and advice to our listeners. So by way of a brief introduction, because it's been a long and distinguished career to date. So for everybody listening, Mark is currently the Chief Marketing Officer at Air Partner Group, a world-leading global aviation services group. And as I said, it's been a really impressive career, which includes senior roles at Signet Jewelers, M&S, amongst others. So I would say, I was trying to think before we came on the call, sort of, you know, you're a CMO, you've got that real breadth of experience. And I was thinking, what if I asked you what would be your kind of specific passion or area within that? And my guess was going to be brand. So I was going to describe you as a very experienced chief marketing officer who's got that end-to-end skill set, but with a real passion for brand. Would that be fair comment?
Absolutely, absolutely. Brand through and through.
Excellent. And amongst your other things that you do, and I have to be honest, it's like doing the prep because I thought, do you ever sleep? The amount that you seem to deliver, my conclusion was that if you do sleep, you don't sleep for long, because in addition to your CMO role, in your free time, you do an enormous amount of charitable work, and we'll talk about that in more detail. But I'd love to, you know, you do Memories That Matter, you support, you're a patron of the Teenage Cancer Trust, and recently, many congratulations, appointed patron for the Prince's Foundation. So hats off to you. You're an incredible man. I put some questions together, and if you don't mind, why don't we dive into the questions? So Mark, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's really great to be part of such an incredible series. I've enjoyed listening to your other speakers in this Q&A series, particularly like listening to Margaret Jobling the other day. So thanks for letting me be part of this.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Yes, Mark Jobling is an amazing lady and deservedly won her title recently as Marketeer of the Year. So let's dive in. So firstly, you've enjoyed a long and very distinguished marketing career. You know, casting your mind back, what was it that led you into marketing?
Such a great question. What led me into marketing? Well, I can be really honest here. I wasn't comfortable in my career. I wasn't comfortable in the career path of store management. I really wasn't. It was just not me. It didn't play to my strengths. So I was so fortunate to a very famous CEO, who should probably remain nameless, who gave me the chance to take a sideways step into out of store management and into marketing with a special events and marketing team of Debenhams. And honestly, I loved it, and I've never looked back. It just felt so good. I would say I really came alive. But to answer your question specifically, what led me to marketing? Well, I have a passion, a real passion for people, innovation, and of course, creativity. I just wanted to do things in a more interesting way. Honestly, I've always been striving to find interesting ways to engage with customers, but have fun at the same time, fun creating campaigns. Now, obviously, campaigns have to deliver goals of raising awareness, driving footfall, all those normal things, traffic, sales, etc. We have to do all that bit. But for me, at the same time, it's important to have fun and enjoy what I do. And that always extended to my team. I love working with a team that gets to also work on fun, creative campaigns and initiatives. Yeah. So that's really what led me to marketing. So I've gone from being a retailer to, I don't know if this is the right term, but to being an aviator.
Well, good for you. And it clearly makes you happy. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Job satisfaction at the end of the day. So I would say that strategy is the specialism, or one of the specialisms that you've really kind of deeply honed your skills. We're looking at marketing strategy. What excites you most about this area of the work that you do?
Well, look, obviously, marketing has to support the goals and the objectives of the company or brand. I guess that's a given. But developing ideas with a great team and building on that original idea, for me, that idea often, by the way, never looks like it did at the start. That's what excites me. But I'm very much data and insight led. So I use data and insight to help guide me and my team to absolutely ensure that we make the right strategic decisions. But you've asked what excites me about that? It's the big creative thinking. That's what really excites me as a brand marketeer. And of course, there's no point at all in being super creative without accurate data and insight to guide you. So in a boardroom, in any boardroom, anywhere in the world, and this is my experience, absolutely, unless you're talking facts together with clearly understood and accurate data and insight, forget it. You'll just lose credibility fast. That's my experience.
Yeah, entirely data-led decisions.
Very much so. I mean, I love the creativity. It's in my veins. It's in my DNA. But it has to be led by clear data and fact, or there's no point.
I think that moves me on quite nicely to the next question I wanted to ask, because as you know, we specialise in the senior marketing and digital roles. We've seen more change in these roles in the last 2 or 3 years than I have in the last 10 or 15 years. And, there's an awful lot for the CMOs and the CDOs to deal with at the moment. If you were looking at kind of what the priorities will be that chief marketing officers or chief digital officers will need to focus on in the next few years, I mean, you've mentioned about, data-led decisions, but what other areas are there the key priorities that are top of your list?
Well, the past few years clearly have been a bit of a game changer, haven't they, for marketers? I think you'd agree with that. I think the pivot to innovative digital first strategies has really set the stage for 2023 and beyond. But in my view, I guess the ultimate goal is to use all that technology and insight that's available to us as marketeers to create the most immersive campaigns that authentically, that's so important, authentically connects with our customers. But I think the most pressing issues for CMOs in the future will be creating meaningful connections. We have to improve customer experience and, of course, personalization. I think the rise of AI in content creation is also a huge boon for marketers, because you can tailor the content and the stories that you want to tell completely around the individual's search term. But just look at all this new technology that's coming out. Digital tech such as ChatGPT. I mean, who knew that there was going to be this new tech that would almost have instant fame and adoption, something that gets better and better every second. It can answer questions, it can write a letter, it can help you with programming. It's incredible, isn't it? And yet,
it's astonishing. It's truly astonishing, and it's a game changer, isn't it, for the way that we're operating?
It is, and yet Google, who were the leader in search, now have pushed out Bard and doesn't even work properly yet. But I think it's important that marketeers stay up to date with all this new tech. I didn't expect something like that to have such an impact so quickly. I really didn't. But look, to finish on this question, I think as a result of all this new tech, I think we can all accept that team sizes are also probably going to reduce, because tech starts to do a lot of that heavy lifting for us as marketeers, helps with content creation, campaign management, and of course, PPC bidding. So yeah, there's a lot to come and a lot for us to be very aware of and look out for as CMOs.
Presumably makes it a lot easier to clearly manage your return on investment and how successful the campaigns are, because you've got so much automation going on there. You've got really clear visibility of the results.
Absolutely, totally.
So, on to some of the other external brands and charity work that you've done. So you've partnered with some extraordinary brands and charities and people over the years. What would you say? And I know you're going to struggle to give me one. So you can pick more than one, but I would love if you would be willing to share with our audience a couple of your most memorable experiences so far.
Well, I absolutely would love to. And I'm going to give you a recent brand collaboration example, and I'm also going to give you a cause related example.
Right.
So the first and most recent and absolutely memorable in so many ways for me was our late Queen's Platinum Jubilee, the Platinum Jubilee pageant, because I was introduced to the Platinum Jubilee pageant project team to consider being a partner brand. A partner brand, I might say, alongside the likes of Burberry, Boodles, Moet et Chandon, Fortnum's, Meta, Burberry, the list goes on. Okay, it was a great field of partners to be associated and sit alongside. So I strongly felt that it would really be a perfect match for my brand Air Partner, because we are a proud British brand with a 60-year history, in private aviation. So I set about to negotiate a deal, went through the normal process, as you can imagine, of trying to win over my business and get it sold in and approved, which it was. And we became the private jet and travel partner for this historic global event.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to mark our Queen's 70th reign on the throne. For me, it was really a personal, amazing experience. But together with my team, we created some incredible, compelling content across all of our channels, from social media to, of course, updating our website, even the email signatures and, from our own internal emails, our screensavers. Every aspect was updated to make sure that our entire business felt proud to be associated with this campaign. And commercially, of course, it was about, I think, setting out to attract new customers, of course existing, but really about getting new customers. And we were able to invite our customers, existing and new, to actually attend the event. That was pretty amazing. I mean,
that's rather special.
Oh my God, I didn't want to leave. I was in that. And I have to tell you, though, that this project was not about the day. It was not about the day of the pageant. Yeah, that's what a lot of people just will remember. But we had 6 months leading up to that pageant to create stories, to create content, to open doors, to talk to our customers, to use all of our channels in a completely different way. That was amazing, absolutely. But what would I say more about that? It was not just about the day, but that corporate hospitality experience with Fortnum & Mason in St James St James's Palace, I think it was amazing. They had to drag me out, and my nails were like digging in the floor.
I'm a big fan of Fortnum, so I can relate to that.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. But of course, to be there on the day was special too, and to see Her Majesty come out onto the balcony. But what we didn't know at the time was her last time. I shed a tear. It was very sad, but also I shed way more tears when our dear Queen passed away. And so you mentioned earlier about being connected to the Princess Foundation. I'm a proud patron for the Princess Foundation, which is one of the foundations most closest to the King. And I really enjoy that partnership, and I think I add a lot of value to them because of my network, because of innovative thinking. So I'm glad you mentioned that, and I'm glad I could give that example to you today.
You do so much for so many people, and it's really to be applauded. You're an incredible person, and I'm sure that you will give many more years of service to these respective foundations and trusts, Mark. They're lucky to have your support. You're a very special man.
But on that, I would just finish to say that with the Platinum Jubilee pageant, it was about commercial. It was a commercial partnership. Yeah, it was about the content we created across our channels. And it enabled us as a business to tell a different story to our customers, our suppliers, and as I mentioned before, of course, to our employees. That was so important. And the results, my gosh, 340 media placements across aviation and luxury media. We had over 216 million impressions. We increased our followers by, I think, 10% on Instagram, 5% on LinkedIn. But the ability to connect, importantly, with new customers was outstanding. And we were, as an entire business, I can tell you, super proud to have had the chance to be the partner and to be part of that moment in history. Another example that I'd love to give you is related to Memories That Matter. Memories That Matter is a new concept of storytelling. Yeah, it's something that I designed in order to bring a series of one-off special events to a small, select, invite-only audience. Each event that I create is unique. It's emotionally significant for everyone that gets involved. Yet it also helps raise significant funds for a foundation or a good cause of my artist's choice. It's a chance for my artists to share through this event their special memories, to celebrate what's been important in their lives. Of course, the songs, but the food, the drinks, menu of cocktails, the table settings, the flowers. Now, I've been fortunate to do one of these already, and I'm about to do another one. Did my first one, managed to persuade Sir Rod Stewart to be my first artist, and I'm now working on my second with Maestro Andrea Bocelli. But why is it called Memories That Matter? Memories really are an incredible resource. To me, I don't know what you think personally, but we think about what's happened in our lives, and we go to our memories when we are in difficult moments in our life, often at a time of serious illness or uncertainty. I think when we're most vulnerable, we go to our memories. So that's why I created Memories, because the power of memories is so important. Mm-hmm. The next event, can't say too much about because it's invite only. There'll be 100 guests only. It'll be in Florence, Italy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wanted to just give you those two examples because one's very much a brand and one is, I think, a pretty good example of me showing creativity, network, creative thinking, network, and pure determination to make something happen.
And all for a good cause.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck with that event. That sounds that sounds rather special, I have to say. So looking back on your career, there will have been advice that would have been shared with you. Some good, probably some not so good. What piece of career advice has stayed with you that you think would help others who are just starting out?
Again, I'm not going to give you one because I can't ever just give one. There are a couple of things. I would say try, where possible, to invest in learning something new every day. And I even took my marketing diploma after I'd started in marketing. But I've tried to keep up with marketing changes, marketing innovation as it's really developed. And I follow certain people on LinkedIn and in other areas. I think I would really recommend people do that. Martin Harbeck, as an example, is someone I really admire and who I follow on LinkedIn. If you're looking for the latest in digital tech and general incredible innovations all over the world, he would be someone I would follow. There's lots of free resources out there. And one that I even tell some of my junior team and my wider team and people who ask me, do the 35-hour Google Garage course. It's constantly updated. Yes, of course, it's Google. It tries to push you down the Google route, but it isn't just about Google. It does give you an amazing online learning opportunity. That Open University certificate as well, amazingly. So you can get a certificate at the end of it. A major piece of advice that I would give that I don't know if it came from someone else, it came from me, is build a network. Don't just collect people's business cards. Don't just send people invitations to connect on LinkedIn. That is not networking. Networking is about hard work at relationship building. So try and add value to the people that you do connect with. And also never, ever be shy to ask for help when you need it. So that would be my my tips. Learn something new every day. Invest in relationship building, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
Really useful advice, thank you. And I'm going to pick up on the middle point, which is about networking, because you've described that brilliantly. People often assume it is about sending out messages on LinkedIn and they don't put in the effort or the investment. You're absolutely right. It's about building a valued relationship, or a relationship of value. You're very, very good at that. And a lot of people completely miss that point.
Well, that's how I'm able to pull off an event like getting Rod Stewart to do an event, or to have a Platinum Jubilee partnership, or I could give other examples. I got help with that because I know people and I've built relationships with people, and that helps me. I feel like I've got this online help desk, if you like, of people who advise me and help me. I don't always use it, of course, but sometimes it can be incredibly helpful. I'm sure you would feel the same. There's someone in your Rolodex that you could ask a question of, get some advice from. Who wouldn't do that? But it's a two-way street. We have to add value. It's almost like a friendship. It's very important to me.
Yeah, it really is. And so going forward over the next 5-10 years, what does your career hold in store for you now going forward?
Really interesting question. I mean, for me, and I'm sure I've listened to some of the other people on here and what they've said, but I mean this. I love what I do. I feel very fortunate that I was in retail pretty much my entire career, but got the opportunity to switch sectors into the aviation sector. I consider my retail family my family still, but now I have a new family in aviation, and aviation related services as well, not just the private jet business I currently work in today. Who knows what will happen in the future, but right now I pinch myself every day that I work in such an interesting sector, and I know it will open and continue to open doors for me, because I just love it. And when you love something, I really think you thrive in it. So.
Oh, well, I couldn't agree more. You're a first-class chief marketing officer. You've got a wealth of highly honed skills. I have every confidence that the next 5 to 10 years will bring a lot of excitement and new opportunities as time goes by. Mark, thank you very, very much for joining us today, and I'm very grateful to you.
Well, I'm grateful for you to ask me, so thank you. I feel honoured to have been asked. Thank you.